Alright, this one was 1150. So this one might be somewhat simple. It's a timing job. He said he couldn't get it timed out right. So if we look down there, you see that arrow? Should be lined up. These two dots should be lined up right in the center, and that arrow should line up to it. And then our timing pointer is not on. So we're gonna loosen this bolt and try to slide it back, see if we can get it close to that mark. And I just use my dowel pin just to make sure we're on number 1. And I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be a timing job, so let's hope anyway. Of course, he did say that it's been sitting for about a year. So always when they're saying they're sitting for about a year, then oh boy. I'll just loosen this guy up. And then that's about as close to that dude as you're gonna get. Pretty close. And line up your arrow. And it's pretty close. Just make sure that those guys are right in the center. Take our belt off. Just pry it up. Now we're going to just line that dude up. There. Now sometimes you gotta go just to the right of it, but this one's gonna be fine, I think. Now rotate her around. See if she lands. Yeah, it's pretty much dead on. You see that little arrow, and this thing, these two dots are kind of right there. Hopefully we're good. Yeah, it's there. What happens if we do this? Line up our dots. So if you look at that, it's still about a tooth off, I think. Go slightly to the right. Yeah, she was way off before. Get on there. She's dead on now. And if it was just slightly off, you could have just still make the adjustment. But she's dead on there. See those two? Gotta be right in the center of this deal with that arrow pointing right at it. So, you know, depending on where I'm looking at it, I still think it's real touchy. Yeah, it should be dead on. We're dead on. But I guess what I wanted to say was really the belts are loose on them. Kind of loose on them. Seems like they would have. Yep. 50s and that, they're a lot tighter. Alright, so then we got our 3 screws up here, so throttle stop. And then we've got spark advance and idle stop. So our idle stop is what's going to be, you know, our timing on it too. So you usually take off your throttle and shift cable so you can get that adjusted correctly. So yeah, it would go, you know, farther back, forward. So let's take off this nut down here. So if you take off this nut, then we can get this adjusted to this jam nut. And oh, I don't know, I have to look at, sometimes they write the timing on these. Engine pickup timing 4 to 6 degrees before top dead center, maximum spark at 21 degrees before top dead center, and that's at, you know, 5,500 RPMs. And then of course, I don't know what kind of fuel he has in this boat because it's been sitting. So you want to disconnect the fuel. We don't ever want to crank it with having fuel connected. So we can figure out what kind of fuel he's got in it. And you'll notice that he's got 3 wires and he's got a green and a black. And we gotta figure out what he's got over here. Green. That's interesting. Make sure that's right. Loosen up this jam nut. Just gonna loosen this guy up. Remove the cable. So we're gonna find first. I guess it doesn't matter where you do the advance first or the idle. I just do the base timing first, and then that gives me a good reference point to do the advanced timing. And once we got that correct, then we just need to check our carburetor pickup timing and our wide open throttle. Trying to do this while I'm talking to you, but just got those 2 pieces, lay them there, and pop this guy up off of there. It's a little loose. Come off of that. Anyways, just move it out of the way. So now, if we need to, we could go more. You know, if we need to, or we can go farther out. Anyway, either way it is, I gotta put my sport checker on here. Maybe throw away something underneath the lower unit so I can have water for one. Let's see if we do. I got water in my tub. Got my timing light on it. Out here. I'm not even set up, folks. So I'll tighten those. Hopefully that'll help it. And we got 126. Got 126. And number 2 is drum roll, please. We're gonna call that, say, 129. 130. We call that one 130 as well. So 140. So I showed that wrong. I have to go back and look and make sure. But we got good compression. That's the main thing. So now we'll see if we got spark. I got key on. Yeah, let's see if we get anything. Yeah, we got something. I don't know if it's just because I can't see it or what. So let's move it out some. I don't think I can see it. Alright, let me jump up the boat, see if that helps. Okay. It's come in quite a bit. It's hard to tell. Okay, so I see top dead centers over this way. So let's see if we go. closer. Alright, so we're kind of in the ballpark. So now I need to just run this in. Needs to go in quite a bit. So it's about 8 degrees right now. Alright, it's got to go a little more. So that's top dead center now. So back it out a couple little turns there. So that's, yeah, it's close. Just like a hair. Yeah, she's on there now. Alright, so now we need to take this back to like, you know, here. So, and I got the throttle cable on there right now. So let's put it forward here. And that's just as wide open throttle, I guess, as you can give it. And we're not real close here. Let me see what I can figure out though. Let's see just how far off it is. Jeez, I can't get in this boat. Alright, keys on. Everything's contact, Scotty. Okay, yeah, we gotta go farther. So, I don't know, his cables are funky. That's farther out, but it's not much. Huh. Alright, somewhere, say 10 degrees before top dead center, and it should be 21. So I think we've got to go quite a bit farther. And of course they've got a throttle stop. Oh yeah. Yeah, so this pushing up here. It's a good thing we sealed that before. So it looks like you probably need some new throttle and shift cables, because they're burning and this is not connected correctly. Just take off the bolt, disconnect the throttle cable. See if we can do this without the throttle cable. Kind of a good test. Little plastic thing you just gently pry up and then it pops out like so. And we need to get this, there we go. So somebody had that kind of all jacked up. And then really this needs to get tightened. You're probably trying to figure out how to loosen that. See how it's real loose, you want to turn it. So, we'll tighten that up. I'll need a couple of, I got a 9/16. Should be another, like 2 9/16. Which I thought I had over here. Get a 9/16 back there and there. So they just didn't have it. They got it really loose. That was 9/16. Maybe that bolt is in the back. That's all right. It's not half. What's going on? Two 9/16. What is happening here? Oh, that's because that's a 5/8. That ain't right. Gotta get the right reach for the job. And if you go kind of from the bottom down, you can get a hold of it. I'm telling you, it's hard to get a hold of it. There you go. Now this should, if I get this cable out of the way, go back and forth. Alright. Now let's see. where spark advance is. It actually could go just a hair more. Let's get really close to the switch box. Gonna kind of move it over out of the way a little bit. Just you can see it now. See how they kind of messed this up. But now I maybe get a screwdriver and set that. That's set right. And then throttle stop. We're just gonna move it in so we get kind of the right. And then I think that is just that's another advanced stop, if you will. So we can go in with this and then touch that right there. So let me get some screwdrivers and stuff and set this. And meanwhile, I'll turn the engine off. Well, I got it timed out. The throttle cable stretched, so I couldn't adjust it, but she really does run good. It's a pretty simple, easy fix, but we'll have to replace the throttle cable and probably the shift cable too, because if you look down here, see how if you have a break in your cable like this, it's going to stretch. So it's kind of stretched beyond what I can adjust it. But this thing will just power over. Maybe just a hair high idle. But in the water it's not going to be that high, so runs good. It's really good, actually. It's not choking or doing anything, so. Alright, well, we're done with this for the day. Gonna get the key out. Yeah, be careful of that. Break a key and then break ignition switch, and then now I gotta replace the ignition switch. Well, I don't even know. This is some kind of mid-80s deal there. So if I gotta change that cable, I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out how that thing comes apart. It's probably a screw or two on the bottom. How that thing comes apart, I don't know. There's Chucky loading up the boat. Ready to go. Get her done. Ain't you? Get her done, get her done, get her done, done.
Right. Gotta get her done, man.
Get her done, get her done, get her done.
Camera on me first.
Why not?
Well, I'm busy.
Well, Hey, Spanks for watching.